World Cinema's Bengal Expedition is how the Kolkata International Film Festival is being described. And to talk about the films being showcased and the wonderful conversation we've just heard upstairs, Srijit Mukherjee, Bruce Beresford. Bruce, to you first. Have you been able to watch? I know you've said Pather Panchali is one film that really influenced you, but apart from that, at this festival, have you been able to catch any of the films that have stood out for you?
Well, during this festival, no, because I've been so busy talking to guys like you and running around and introducing films that I've only seen the one film, which was directed by my Australian friend Rolf de Heer. I saw that one last night because he would be upset if I hadn't been there.
Anything you want to watch?
Well, yes, I can't watch them now. I'll take the catalogue back with me. You're going to send me some.
Yes, absolutely.
And there are Australian films now, other Indian films now on Australian streaming channels. I will make sure that I see everything I can.
Srijit, to you, we were talking upstairs about, there's a commercial aspect to films. And Bruce and Srijit, I wanted to ask you both. When you're doing a project of love, something that you've written and you've envisioned it in a certain way, and then the commercial aspect of that comes in, and then maybe you have to make adjustments. As a filmmaker, where do you draw the line? How much do you give in? How much do you compromise? How much have you had to do that, if at all you've had to do it?
Well, I usually find it's just a matter of making the best film I can and then hoping it's commercial. I mean, something like Driving Miss Daisy that we talked about a lot. When we finished it, the studio, Warner Brothers, thought it wasn't commercial. And they said, well, we'll put it in an art house and that's all we'll do. And then they found out they didn't have a good film for Christmas. And they said, oh my God, what are we going to do? And they said, look, we'll put out Miss Daisy and see if anybody likes it. So they released it, and of course it was madly popular. But their initial reaction was that it was only an art house film.
Wow.
They can be wrong. They're often wrong.
They're often wrong. And
that's information, and that's difficult to digest when you're talking about a film like Driving Miss Daisy. But
it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
It does.
See, how the studio perceives a film is very different from, and very importantly, it doesn't affect the way a director perceives a film. For a director, a commercial, whether it's going to bring in the crowds, all that comes later. First thing it happens, at least with me, is that whether it's appealing to me, because I'm the first audience of my own film. And if it doesn't appeal to me, then of course the film is a non-starter. But if it does, then the commercial aspects of something come much later for the director. And the director obviously, as Bruce said, makes the best film he can.
I want to ask you, 3 films you would recommend to Bruce Beresford to watch from India.
From India,
Current, contemporary.
Oh, contemporary, is it? He's already spoken about Pather Panchali, so when you say contemporary, you mean...
I mean, as wide a window as you want to interpret contemporary in your own way.
I would say Nayattu. Nayattu is a film which I really would want to, because I genuinely feel Malayalam films are the best films in the country right now. And pains me as a Bengali, admitting that, but definitely. From Bengal, I will recommend this film called Nagar Kirtan. So, Nayattu, Nagar Kirtan, these 2 films. And possibly, I don't know whether he's watched Gangs of Wasseypur. You haven't?
I think you'll enjoy
Are these films available with English subtitles?
Yes, Gangs of
well,
Wasseypur,
that's great.
definitely.
All three.
I can't wait. I want to see them as soon as possible.
A lot of young, budding filmmakers or connoisseurs of film would be looking forward to hearing from you as to how should one, the 3 things that one has to, let's say, keep in mind when, they decide to embark on a project.
When? Well, I think I touched on this when we were talking, and we both agreed that The thing to do is to make films if you've got something to say. The worst thing you can do is to remake someone else's film.
Oh, yes.
I notice there's been a great tendency in Australia to sort of remake American movies.
In India too.
Well, that's a mistake because I get bored. I look at them and think, oh, I've seen, you know, they're influenced by so-and-so. It could be Scorsese or someone like that. Mistake. I mean, I had a friend in Australia who made a whole lot of films which were sort of imitation Woody Allen films. I said to him, big mistake. I said, Woody Allen does them well, but you don't because you're not Woody Allen. You've got to make your own films.
Your thoughts on remakes, because we've seen a lot of that in India.
Very extreme thoughts. You know, the last 2 years I've let gone of close to 15 to 16 projects, some of them with, you know, big platforms like Netflix and Amazon. Yes, these were either remakes of Korean films or remakes of Telugu films or Tamil films, and I principally am very against remakes. So I had to say no. So the new term now is an international format. So you have an international series. You take that format.
Inspired.
You make that format into, you know, the criminal justice becomes a criminal justice here. So my thing is that if there is no medium shift, so I don't mind adapting plays, I don't mind adapting novels, short stories, because it's a literary medium. From there you make a film. But if you make a film out of a film, where are you? Where is your interpretation? Where is your addition as an artist? So I am like Bruce.
And it's not very interesting because you're doing a film then and you think they've already done this film.
Yeah.
You know, and probably because they were inspired by it in their country, it's going to be more startling. The remake will be rather tame. This happens all the time.
I think that's a wonderful note to end this conversation on. No remakes. I agree with you. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV and taking time out to speak to us. Thank you so much, Sridhar Mukherjee, Bruce Beresford. Thank you.
Thank you.